one sort of, recommendation and sort of projection here is we need, really strong coordination going forward between the public and private sector. We have to give assurances to platforms and tech companies that they will not be, they will be exempt from adverse regulatory action. There'll be no private lawsuits coming after them. I mean, look, tech platforms have been going out of their way to help us. I mean, Facebook and Google have made a tremendous amount of data available to researchers and to the government. They're providing disease prevention maps in 30 countries. They're looking at aggregate location map data. They're providing us with people movement data, social networking data, right? I mean, these are the kinds of data that helps us understand, how social distancing can get people to actually comply, right? So I believe, I think I see a world where you see more and more of this public-private collaboration. I also recognize that there are various data cultures around the world. And in some of the research that I'm doing now, I've been interested in comparing the privacy/data models across, let's say, the US versus China versus, let's say, Germany and South Korea. Okay? And they all have the pros and cons. I mean, our model might be a little too elitist, right? Because user data is generally presumed to be free by default for use by the private sector, right? In China, the approach is maybe a little too stringent. I find Germany's data protection anxiety to be just too technophobic for me. I think the assumption is that data is inherently dangerous. It needs protection. I don't see it that way, but that's how a lot of Europe works. And then in South Korea, I feel maybe it's a little too collectivist for us, right? Like we are not a collectivist society to the extent that the Far East is, right? So I think that's not to work. I think, frankly, I found Taiwan's hybrid information model to be a lot more compelling. Okay, it comes with participatory self-surveillance. In fact, there was a very nice article on this in the Bloomberg by Andreas Kloth. So take a look at that, if you get a chance. Basically, in the hybrid information collection model that is common now in these countries, it is a combination of Confucian democratic, okay? Because they place the public good above individual rights and privacy, but with the consent of the population. Why I feel we as Americans can get there is because our research, the one I mentioned at the very beginning, is in fact showing exactly that. On an average, we were willing to sacrifice some of our location privacy in return for allowing institutions to check for social distancing and contact tracing, okay? I feel we can actually mimic and imitate and get inspired by Taiwan's model. I expect to see more and more in the coming years.